the coffee beans, they have physical change. That would be great. Okay, that's the first thing. We need to talk about the physical change, and then we talk about what happened during roasting, about the chemical change, all these chemical reactions. We don't really need to learn the chemistry, but we need to know those chemicals related to the flavors and what happened during roasting. Okay? And then we will talk about how to transfer the heat from the roaster to the beans. Okay? Because heat, the energy, is the main driving force to make the physical change, to make the chemical change. It all needs lots of energy to do that. So how we apply the energy to the coffee beans is very important. Then, based on these three, after we know what happened about the physical change, what happened about the chemical change, and also when we know how to apply the energy to the beans, then we know how to roast. And for different purpose, like if you need to do very light roast, then what's the best strategies to apply the energy? If you want to do a medium roast, what's the energy supply strategies? Okay, that will be different. So that's the last part. After we know everything about the roasting, then we know how to choose the way we roast, how to keep your roasting style, but in the same time it tastes good. Okay? So we have day one. We probably can talk about physical change and the chemical change on day one. If we are lucky. Okay? Because usually, last time actually we talked about physical only. Maybe 90 little bit chemistry on the day one. Okay, anyway. Day one, I hope we can talk about this too. And then, this is day two. And the roasting operation, that will be day three. And so for the day four, we go on the roaster.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we roast. You need to roast a little bit to apply those knowledges. Okay, so we still need some practice. We still need some roast. But we don't need a lot because after all, you need to apply these things. You need to practice these roasting strategies on your own roasting system. Okay? On the diesel, not everybody has diesel, not everybody has discovery. So I just use them as an example for you to practice a little bit. Actually, not practice how to roast, actually practice your brain, how to think about roast at the last day. Okay? Then you practice on your own machine. And after this course, we have around 20 persons learn how to learn the roasting with me, right? In Tokyo we have 8? 6. 6. Okay, in Tokyo we have 6. Here we have 12, but so that will be
17.
18 to 17 people. Okay? So after this, in the winter time, maybe like December, maybe I think December will be a good time. Then I will ask all of you to roast. Give me one, maybe 100 gram roasting samples with profile. Okay, with roasting profile and your coffee beans, and ship to Taiwan. You can like pull all together and ship to Taiwan, and we can do an online copy.
オンラインでサンプル送ってオンラインでカッピングしてくれるってことで、
Yeah, so you can
てか行きたい台湾。
copying in Japan, and
あ、そうなんだ。
I do copying in Taiwan, but we do the copying in the same time, and we can discuss like what happened, what I got from this cup, and based on the profile, how to improve the
So you mean same green beans?
No, maybe not the same green bean, it's okay.
So everyone can choose their own coffee.
Yes, because you need to choose the, you think it's most difficult coffee. Maybe you have coffee very easy to roast. Okay, every roast is easy. Please sit down. And maybe one coffee is very difficult. Every time you roast and then you cupping, you say, not good enough. So send that not good enough coffee.
So in that case, we need to send a raw bean sample, not just only the roasted sample.
Yeah, the whole bean, the roasted sample.
So you're gonna roast the raw beans. And
No, I don't like to
You
roast.
don't do it.
Yeah, I will try to cup, and from the cupping, I can tell what happened.
この勉強会が終わった後に、その皆さんの持ってる知識で新しく焙煎したものを、ご自身が一番難しいと思ってるお豆でもいいですし、一番簡単と思ってるお豆でもいいので、焙煎してそれを、11月か12月ぐらいに、一緒に合わせて送ってもらってもいいみたいなんですけど、
勝負したいですね。勝負しましょう。
その後オンラインで確認して、このカップはどうだねとかいう話。
ちょっと同じ豆でやりましょう。
日本のやつも用意しとかなかったんですよね。こちらのみんなにも送らなきゃいけないですね。オンラインでさ。
ああ、そうなりますね。
そうですね。集まる人はどっかで集まってもいいかもしれないですね。
So I will use this online cupping to as a, like a, after service.
Oh yes, include price.
Yeah. It's no extra.
そこだけ反応やばくないですか？リアクションでかい。
かかるみたいですけど。
もうそれはもう
授業料かかる。
Okay. I feel bad if after the course and you still cannot improve your roasting skill. I will feel bad. So I would like to do something like this to continuously to help you to improve the roasting.
ありがとうございます。
So that will be we have kind of like a guarantee here. Okay, after sales service. So that's my plan. Okay, let me talk about myself a little bit. You just call me Jake, that'll be fine. Okay, it's easier to remember. Okay, much easier like Masamoto. Masahiko. See, it's difficult. Okay. I was graduated in university. I was graduated in the plant pathology. That means I should learn to be a plant doctor. But I want to be a human doctor before, but in the high school I didn't study a lot. Okay. Actually, I seldom go to school actually. Okay. Anyway, I learned the plant pathology. Actually, the plant pathology is talk about the plant virus, plant bacteria. Okay, plant fungus.
カビ？
ネマト。
ね、
なんすかネマ
病原菌全般の話です。
おー
Okay. So that's what I learned in my university. I was not happy. I want to go back to the medical school. I want to learn. I want to be a human doctor.
あー
So after I graduate, actually I finished my master program in the medical school, and it's about basic medicine. Actually, it's about molecular biology research.
薬学の博士課程博士
And then I have the first PhD program is actually
でかっこよく
biochemistry. And but it's only 2 years because I didn't finish it.
おー
Okay, because I have a very bad relationship with my professor.
そうなの
So I quit. Okay, I quit and I go to like a junior high school as a teacher for a year, and then I back into a lab to do the medical research. And after 1 year, then I think I can try another PhD
う
program.
ん
So I get into the program about the life science
ライ
program.
フサイエンス
And actually, that time, my research is about like hantavirus, dengue virus.
何それ
Okay. Japanese encephalitis. Maybe you know it's called. I don't know how to write it.
脳科学
Uh, encephalitis. It's okay. You can try. Japanese.
?進化違う
日本の
Yeah.
そんな感じです。
Anyway, I studied this virus for 4 years.
え
And then the SARS come in. We have SARS outbreak. And at that time, I stay in the institute with the level 4 lab.
も
The only place can handle that kind of virus. So I changed my my research topic to the SARS encephalitis. From the Japanese encephalitis, I changed to SARS. Okay, so actually, I didn't finish my research about the previous study. Then I start a new one. That was 2002. 2002, the SARS outbreak. So I started to do SARS. To 2006, actually, I cannot finish my thesis. I cannot finish my study. But my wife, she need to study in the United States.
Mm.
And we have 2 kids,
Mm.
1 years old and 3 years
Eh.
old. So what I can do? I stay in Taiwan, finish my PhD, and then she fly out, and who take care of the kids? Nobody take care of the kids. So anyway, so I quit. I didn't finish my PhD program. And I fly to US to take care of the kids for 2 years. And my wife, she studied in the Yale University. So after 2 years, we back to Taiwan. And before we want to move back to Taiwan, that will be 2008. I don't know what I can do, because I didn't finish my PhD program. And in the biotechnology industry, you need to have the PhD title. Then everything will be easy. Okay, but I don't. So I will be like nobody in the biotechnology industry. Actually, I opened, before I fly to US, I have 3 biotechnology companies. Okay, one is about the collagen production for the artificial skin, and another one is the fish feeds, fish feeds, and also the shrimp feeds. And we use the fermentation to grow a lot of good bacteria. So we can feed to the fish, we can feed those good bacteria for the shrimps, so they can feel healthy and that they can grow out fast. So I learned how to do fermentation from those biotechnology companies. We learn how to use the fermentation skills to produce collagen for the Johnson & Johnson, the United States company, Johnson & Johnson. They have a lot of artificial skin for the burned people to cover, and we do the raw materials. We produce the raw materials. Okay, that's what happened before I get into the coffee industry. So, in 2008, actually I was 38 years old already. I'm actually very old to get into the coffee industry. So when I want to go to the coffee industry, I think, what I can do. Then I found there is a course talk about the coffee quality course in United States. It's not far away, 5 hours driving. So I drive over there, 5 days, 5 hour driving. So I drive over there and I stay there for 5 days. And after 5 days, I got my Q grader. I don't know that's a Q grader exam. I don't know. In the morning, the teacher came in and say, introduce yourself. Oh, I say, I'm a house husband from Taiwan. I'm not in the coffee industry. Everybody looks at me like, are you kidding? But after 5 days, 12 people, only 4 passed. I'm the one of it. Everybody look at me. Are you crazy? Okay, so I become a Q grader. And then I learned how to roast from, actually, his name is my instructor. It's Mane Elvis.
Mane, hey.
Okay. So I learned how to roast from him and learned my sensory skill from him. After that, I fly back to Taiwan, and in 2009, I joined a coffee shop and start getting to the coffee business because I know I'm too old. If I want to be a barista standing over there 12 hours a day, I cannot. So I think I should learn roasting. Okay, roasting sounds easy. You don't have to like standing over there like 12 hours. I thought it will be easy, but actually it's difficult. Okay, after I start to roast, then I feel, it's actually difficult. Anyway, that's what happened to me. So from 2009 till now, it's about 13 years in the industry. I got my international judge certification on 2010. And then I become a WCE rep from, I think, 2014. Yeah, so see, from 2000 to 2003, actually I have a biotechnology company. I'm doing the research and development manager. That's for the shrimp feeds, the fish feeds, okay? 2003, 2006, Colametrics company. I'm doing the quality control management. Then 2009 to 2010, I began, there's a coffee shop called Gabi Diam, okay? And I'm the roaster there. And after that, I start my own business, the Taster's Coffee, till now. And so from 2013 till now, actually, 2022, I'm still the WCE rep. And the WCRC sensory judge 2014, 2016, and then I became the I became the WBRC head judge also for this year in Melbourne, and I became the head judge for the roasting also this year in Milan, and probably next year in Taipei. Okay.
多分次もってことですね。
So, that's why actually I start my roasting from like 2009, right? At that time, there's not many coffee roasting books. Not a lot of books you can read. There is no Scott Raoul. Okay, Scott Raoul have published his first book. It's about the barista handbook in 2008, or I think it's 2008. Okay, but that time he didn't publish the roasting books yet. So at that time, nothing you can read. So I learned from Manet, and then I tried to find out all the research articles because I was the lab rat. So I know how to do research. So I check a lot of research reference. That's the way I learned how to roast. Okay, because there's no books. There is no masters I can learn, actually no. So that's the way I learned. I learned from the coffee science. From the coffee science, then I figured it out how we could roast. Okay, and those things still work till today. So I'll be here and I want to share all about the knowledge I know and how they became into a workable roasting strategies to you. Okay? All right, this is a video. So we apply the hot air to 3 coffee beans. And you can see what happened. You can see the bean size. Okay, yeah. You can see the bean size change. It becomes larger and larger. And you also see some wrinkles there. And you can see it cracks. So the center line open. You can see the silver skin detached.
うん
You can see the wrinkles disappear. It was wrinkled, then disappear. You can see the oil comes out.
うん
Okay?
OK
Everything you can see. That means physical change.
うんうん
It's not about chemical change, it's about the physical change.
Mm.
The color change, the oil come out, the silver skin detached,
うん
wrinkle, then disappear.
うん
And actually the bean size getting bigger and bigger and
うん
bigger.
うん
Okay?
うん OK
Okay. So that's the first thing. It's about why we want to roast coffee beans. Why?
なんで焙煎するかなんで焙煎するか
Yes. So roasting can develop different flavors. So we need to apply energy. We need to apply heat to make those chemical reaction happen. Then we have different flavors.
うん
So because the green bean, it tastes not that good. It's okay,
Okay.
but not really good. So we need to roast to create more flavor. Yes. What else?
他に
What else?
Aromatics?
Aromatics?
Yeah.
Yes, it's about the same with the flavor.
うん
Okay. So think about we actually on the car we talk about the tea roasting. Okay. Think about the tea leaves.
うん
Tea leaves, it's just like this. Okay. It's soft.
うん
You don't need to roast a lot. It can easily give you flavor. Green tea, no roasting at all. It still can give you flavors.
うん
You put it in the hot water, then the flavor comes out. But for coffee, there is a seeds there. It's hard. It's very strong.
うん
So you need to apply energies to make it swollen,
うん
to destroy the cell wall structure. Okay, you can see there it's a lots of cell walls divide into like a very small space. Okay? And those cell walls are very strong. Think about the green bean. You chew, it's very hard, so it's difficult to cut. Right? So the structure is very strong.
うん
So you need to apply heat to destroy the cell wall,
うん
to make it swollen, to make the cell wall thinner,
うん
and to break the cell wall.
うんうんうん
If you cannot break the cell wall enough, it will be difficult to extraction.
なんてなんてなんて
To extract.
抽出あなるほどなるほど
Okay?
OK
So actually, that's the very important things, but most of the roasters don't know that. That means you need to break the cell wall. Okay? Okay, now we can see this. This is the bean structure, right? The bean structure. The first things you need to notice is about here. This is embryo. This is where the the roots.
塩分って肺って肺が
Okay, just like uh, とか
はい、いいんですよね。はい。
No, 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 no. I mean the food, the
トーファ
もやし
is it the moyashi like this, right?
あ
So moyashi, so that's the embryo.
あ
Coffee beans just like moyashi.
おえ
So this is the where it grows up.
うん
Okay, so you can see that the beans are very hard. Then it becomes moyashi,
うん
and it will soft. It
Mm.
will become more soft and it grows out,
Mm.
right? So that part, the soft part, that part, sweetest.
へえ甘いの
So on the insect damage coffee, usually you will see one hole
うん
at one place. Okay, you can see over there. Usually, it's like one hose on the beans,
Mm.
and actually, why it's there? Because it's close to the embryo.
うーん
Because embryo tastes better,
Mm.
so the insect love that place.
へえ分かるんやなでも肺がある
That also means that part is the weakest, very weak structure.
うーん
Okay, so here is weak. Okay, the other part strong. So when you apply too much energy, when the coffee still have water, but you apply too much energy, the water will become steam. The steam will comes out from this spot because here it's very weak.
そっから水分が抜けてくって
そこから広がっていく。
おお
Okay, so the steam from inside comes out from the very weak part.
うん
So that part burn.
ああ焦げるってこと
That's called tipping.
ああ
That's called tipping.
黒くなる。
Tipping
あ、違う。
is
剥がれる。
occur from inside, not from outside.
From inside.
うーん そうなんだ。
Sometimes from inside, sometimes from outside. Let me find out the. Oh,
うん。
There are two different types.
but for tipping, it's usually it's because from inside.
うん。
Okay, this is the place the bugs will goes out.
うん。
So that's actually like a tiny little opening there. But all the high temperature steam comes out from there. All the high temperature steams burst out from that hole, so it burns.
うん。
That's called tipping. Okay? So usually, you find only one tipping, not both sides, only one side.
うん。
Why? Because the embryo side.
うん。
One beans, one embryo.
うん。
It's not both sides, it's only one side.
うん。
So you got only one tipping side on your coffee beans. Okay? So that means the coffee beans are not even. So when you roast, you need to think about the weakest point.
うん。
You don't need to care about the strongest part. You need to care it's about the weak point.
うん。
Because the weak point easy to get burned.
うん。
Okay? Alright.
質問があるんですけど、朝入りでも一品にケアしなきゃいけないんです。
Do you have to care about the tipping even though you're roasting like this?
Yes. Yes, I will talk about it later.
うん。
Okay. Yes, I will explain why tipping and how to avoid. Yes. Okay. Now, you can see the coffee beans. It's like a cake roll. It's like a roll together, right? So it's like cake roll, and here is the center line.
うん。
Okay? So the total bean structure is very important. Remember the video. The middle beans in the video, the middle beans crack like this.
うん。うん。うん。うん。
But some coffee beans not like this. It's like closed.
うん。
Right? So open,
うん。
close, roasted beans, open roasted beans, and the closed center line roasted beans.
うん。
Which one have more roast development?
オープン。
Open one, right? So after roasting, if the open center line,
うん。
1 cup,
うん。
closed center line, 1 cup,
うん。
tastes different.
おー。
So the open
う
one,
ん。
more bitterness.
あー。
Maybe it's still good, but more development.
うん。うん。
The closed one, less development.
うん。
So if you have
うん。
a lot of coffee beans, center line open,
うん。
usually
うん。
that means you apply too much energy.
うん。うん。
So the structure
うん。
is not strong enough because energy too much.
うん。
So every bean is like open.
うん。
Usually you will have overdeveloped flavor.
おー。
usually that means you give too much energy.
うんうん
Okay? So, check your beans. It's not about I teach you how to roast. No. It's about your coffee beans teach you how to roast.
あ
So you need to read your beans very carefully.
ーうん
Then you will know. Okay?
いい話だ名言だ
So when the center line, maybe even before the first step, it's open. So the hot air is so easy to move in.
うんうん
So the beans inside, outside, well developed.
うん
So you have more developed flavor.
うん
Close center line, the hot air difficult to move in.
うん
So outside darker, inside lighter.
うん
Right?
でもそれで言うと開いてるやつの方が中も外もちゃんとデベロップして良さそうなんですけど
He thinks that he's wondering that if the open crock one,
Sorry.
open crock one
Mhm.
will be more uniformly roasted. He's wondering.
I mean the open one. Okay, you roast. Say, I want to do a light roast. Okay, so my target is like light roast. If most of the beans are closed, so most of the beans are light roast, but the center line open beans, it's light roast more. It's not only light roast, maybe medium light roast.
Even though your profile was achieved your target, but the more
Think about it in the roaster.
開いた時点でもう深くなってるよってことあなるほどそういうこ
Okay. One coffee bean. Usually 0.18 gram. Okay?
とうん
You roast 1 kilo. How many beans?
550 5500超5万ですか
Okay?
うん
So 5,000 beans
うん
in the roasting machine.
うん
Okay? So after roasting, maybe most of them are light roast. But for those center line open beans are actually medium light already. So they are different. Because most of the roasting profile follow most of the beans. So for those open beans, it's too much already. So also like shell, the shell defect, shell. Yeah,
うん
like shell.
うん
Shell also development too much
うん
because it's just like this.
ああなるほど
So inside, outside, very easy develop.
うん
Okay, so the shell, the center line open are very similar. They give you more development than the normal beans. So for Kenya easy to have a lot of shell because the genetic of the SL34, SL28, those varieties are their genetic background, so it's easy to produce shell because it's actually a mild function of the embryo development.
どういう
Okay?
こと
It's
中瓶さ入らないんです
はいないの
だから品種によるってことですよ。
あるんじゃない
確かに金が多いですよね。
か。なさそうじ
あるんじゃない
ゃん。あるんですか。
わかんない。これですよね。
そう両方入るはずだから両方持ってるはずですね
あ、ミューテーションですね。
okay.
あ異常発達、うん
SL28, SL34, they select the beams, they select the SL28, 34 because the size. Kenya want the big size beams.
うん
But usually the big size beams, they're genetically tend to have produce shell because it's easy to have ijo datu.
うん
Okay?
I have a question.
Yes.
Does shell beans embryo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They still have embryo. But because the shape is like this, so the nutrition is not enough. So it's difficult to grow up.
やっぱそうなんだ
Soybeans are a result of water flood.
No. Shell beans is like this. Okay, usually it will be like this, right? Right. But when usually one cherry, like two beans like this, right?
うんうん
But during the cherry development,
うん
it's like from here, it's like in the beginning it's like this, and then it's growing like this.
うん
Okay? So from here, something wrong. So they wrap together like this.
うん
Then you have a shell and a core.
うん
Okay? It's actually two beans, but should be like this,
うん
but it's like this.
うん
Okay? So that's why it's actually a malfunction of the embryo development. A seeds development. I shouldn't say embryo, it's like seeds development. So it becomes like this. And then when you roast,
うん
you got a shell.
うんうんうん
Okay? So you might find lots of Kenya have these things.
うん
So if what you want to do a medium roast Kenya, it's so easy to have a burnt flavor.
うーん
Because when you do the medium roast, the shell actually burnt already.
うんう
Too
ん
much development.
うんうん
When you do a very light roast Kenya,
Mm.
it tastes okay.
うん
I did to separate all the shells, coupling with the center line closed beans.
うん
On the very light roasting condition,
Mm.
it tastes even better
うーん
because it's a like very light roasting, but because it's shell, so it development, the roast development is actually better.
うん
But when you do the medium roast, the shell actually develop too much,
うん
so it tastes bad. So it depends on the roasting degree, and it also depends on how you roast the beans. Okay, so usually for the medium or maybe medium dark roast, for the weak structure beans, you need to apply the energy more gentle. Okay, you cannot give the energy like high strength. Okay, you cannot like, oh, let's burn. No, you cannot. You have to add it like step by step.
うん
Okay, so So different beings, different energy applied strategies. Think about the high altitude coffee. We have
ハイアティテュー標高高いやつね。
we know the trees. Come on, come on. Or do we have Wi-Fi here? Maybe the Wi-Fi here is better. Is there any Wi-Fi here?
いやでも動画にしたらちゃんと
It's okay.
ずっと中村さんが映ってる。
外れてない。
後で消すか。
できる。そんなことできる。
分かんないけど。年輪。あれだ。書いて
来ました。
た。書いてた。
I think it's
ああ、
this
なんか
one,
書い
right?
てましたね。書いてましたね。
No, 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 no.
バームクーヘン出てきた。確かに分かりやすい。
It's okay. Okay, like this.
うん。
Okay, so the summertime,
うん。
the trees growing very fast.
うん。
So the structure is quite loose. So lighter color. When the winter time, the trees grow very slow.
うん。
So the color is darker. So it's like a light color, dark color, light color, dark color, right? So summertime, everything grows very fast.
うん。
So the structure is more loose.
うん。
Winter time, every tree grows slower.
うん。
So the structure very dense.
うん。
Low altitude beings,
うん。
high temperature environment.
うん。
The beings grows also very fast.
なるほど。
So the structure is weaker.
おう。うん。
High altitude beings, very cold.
うん。
The beings grows up very slow.
うん。
So the cell wall very thick.
うん。
The structure very strong.
うん。
So low altitude coffee, you need low energy.
うん。
High altitude coffee, very strong, very thick cell wall.
うん。
You need more energy.
うん。
So you need to know, like this year, Nicaragua,
ニカラグア。おう。
Ramirez, right?
Mirrors.
Mirish is actually low altitude.
おう。
It's maybe around 1,000 or even below 1,000 meters.
うーん。
So the beans are actually very soft,
うん。
difficult to roast because it's soft. You cannot apply the energy too much
うん。
or easy to get burned.
うん。
Okay, and for the blend that will be Kenya, Ecuador, and Honduras, right? Kenya, around 2,000 meters.
うん。
Okay, Honduras maybe 1200. Ecuador again maybe 1600 to 2000. We don't know. So like a high altitude, but low altitude in Honduras. And also, so if you want to mix them all together and roast together, okay, high altitude beans, low altitude beans, you mix together to roast. So the profile will be not enough for the high altitude, too much for the low altitude. No good. Because everything is like compromise. So what you can do, by sample roasting, you might know actually the Kenya is the best one. Okay, in Milan, actually the Kenya is the best one. Who's the you are the competitor?
Yes.
This year, right?
Yes.
Okay, so actually from the sample roasting, you might know actually the Kenya is the best quality one.
Yeah.
The Ecuador one is like maybe past crop or something.
ああ、そうなんだ。
So it's
へ
very
え。
paper.
おー、ペーパリー。
So I will put only 10%
うん。
Ecuador,
うん。
and then maybe 10% Honduras or maybe 20% Honduras to bring out some chocolatey. Then 80% Kenya, 80 to 70% Kenya.
うん。
Okay, because I roast them one by one, and
One by
then
one.
I ask several judges to create their own blend.
うん。
So we do the calibration.
うん。
The highest score comes from 80% Kenya,
うん。
and then 10%, 10%
うん。
Ecuador and Honduras. But if I want to do this competition, I will do Kenya roast alone.
ああ、の。ほんで、アフターミックス。
Then then Honduras and
Ecuador.
Ecuador together. Another roast.
なるほどね。
And then we blend.
うん。
Define those profile.
Yes.
なるほどね。
Because Kenya is totally different, very different from the other two things.
うん。
So I will do 2 roasts. Anyway, I have 1 hour competition now.
うん。
So actually 2 roasts is easy.
うん、確
So
か
I
に。
will separate them because it tastes very different.
うん。確かにな。
Yeah.
今抱えても、今頭抱えても。順平さん。
No, no.
平常心で人の心を。
Sorry, as a judge, when I explain this to you, I cannot be your coach.
Yes.
So I just explain on the score sheets what happened on the score sheets.
Yes.
But here, I can teach you, I can let you know why.
Okay.
Okay? So, actually, we create 3 blends for the judges to do the calibration.
うん。
And that will be like 7.0, around 7.0, and around 7.5,
うん。
and then another one is around 8.
8。へえ。
Okay? And I think there will be 2 or 3 samples, I mean from the competitors, can close to 8.
おお。
Okay, several, maybe 3, close to 8. Okay. Most of them below 8 to 6 point something.
うん。
And for the single origin, it's the single origin is the marriage, right? Okay. The single origin, I roast 3 batch.
うん。
I roast the first batch.
うん。
I feel it's not that easy to roast.
うん。
So the first batch, after I roast, I chew and I taste. I say, maybe it's just around 7. So I changed the profile to do the second roast. And the second roast I chose, I think maybe it can be 8. Let me think about it. Okay. No. In the first batch, I roast them. I'm not really happy, but I know it's like around 7.5. Then I adjust. I try to do a 8.0 roast. And after that one, I choose. I said, yeah, I think I got an 8. Then the third batch, actually, I tried to do very bad. I want to create a 6.75 coffee. So I tried to roast it very bad, and then I got it. So I have 3 different quality coffee. 8, 7.5, 6,
8までいく。
So it's easy for the judges to do the calibration. Okay? Unfortunately, no competitors can reach to 8.
誰もいかんかったよ。
You choose and you choose.
Yeah,
Just choose.
because you have no time to do cupping,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
豆食ってるだけですよね。
Yeah, so you just pick maybe 3 beans, okay? So you pick only 3 beans. You want to pick center line open or center line closed. Of course, because most of the beans are center line closed, right? So after roast, I just pick 3 center line closed. I think that's can be like the good sample, actually. So I do a mouse cupping. I do a very quick mouse cupping, and I think, so should I roast another one? If I want to roast another one, what should I do? And then I adjust.
いけるんや、それで。それでいけるんや。
Yeah, because you cannot bring any tools
やりましょう。
during the competition.
豆食べるって言ったんで
So I just, okay, I want to do another roast. And I just-
クエスチョン。その WCRC でカッピング競技者がカッピングできないようになっているのはもうそのマウスカッピングで分かるだろっていう意味合いですかって聞きたいんですけど。
The reason why competitors cannot do cupping while competition?
Yes.
Because they can that's enough for them to do a mouth cupping. Is that the reason?
Okay, during the competition time, you only have 30 minutes to do the single origin roast. You have 1 hour to do the blend roasting.
OK。
Okay? And you can bring the very limited tools for your roasting. So there will be no chance to do cupping during your roasting time.
カッピングしてローストに反映させる時間なんてないだろうってこと。
Okay? And for the single origin, if you can manage it very well, I think most of the roasts are maybe less than 10 minutes. So that means within the 30 minutes, you have chance to do 2 roasts.
そうだよね。
So for the first roast, and actually for the competition, I will do actually 1.5 roast.
1.5。
Why? Because every day the roasting conditions are different. So I will do the first roast, just check the initial temperature and the turning point. Is it fitting my roasting plan? If maybe the competition day may be too cold or maybe too hot, the same charge temperature, but the turning point will be different. That means the initial energy is actually different. Right? So I just check the first, and I will roast the first batch all the way to 150.
150
150
degree.
degree, 160 degree. Turn yellow,
Yes.
then I stop.
えそこで止める
Yeah,
You discharge.
yeah, I discharge
Okay,
because
I
I just want to know the condition of the system.
Yeah.
詳しく訳してほしいここ
僕が決勝でやったやつです。
あ一回もう温めるためにゴールドぐらい出すと
失敗したから
うん
やめちゃったけど結果論として一緒やった。
うーん
Yeah, so from start the roasting to 160, maybe only 6 minutes, 5 minutes.
はいはいはい
It's nothing.
Mm.
So I stop and I start to prepare another
Oh.
roast.
挙動を知るためだけに
もう出しちゃう
あげちゃう
うーん
温めるっていう
はい
その日のコンディションを見るために
うん
中点とかの
うん
自分の理想とするプロファイルにす
うんうん
る。OK だったらそのまま行くし、
なるほどなるほど
違ったらもうイエローで。
で2回そこから焼くってこと
そう
だからトータル2キロかける3で焼くってこと
できるようにしてる。
するってことですよね
基本は 1.5 回だっていう。
あ
I
1
know
点
you
そうか
want
そうか
the-
そうかそうか
the
基本は 1 点
score, the starting temperature score. The starting temperature,
うんうん
precise like your roasting plant.
ああ
That
ロースト
will
プレに
be
書いてる
0 to 6.
うんうん
0 to 6 points.
うん
So you want that score, right? So you cannot change your start
変え
roasting
うん
temperature.
変えれないよね
But you can change the energy. You can change the RPM. You can change lots of airflow.
うんうんうんうん
The start, the charge temperature still will be the same, but the initial energy will not be the same.
うん
So after the first roast,
うん
I mean the first 160 degree roast, you know everything for your early roasting energy requirement. Then you do the official, the competition roast.
なんて
最初の反発で
うん
釜の状態が分かるはずなので、
うんうん
スターティングポイントで
うん
スコアが入ってますね。
もうこれは変えれないですもんね
そうそこ変えないから、
他を
速度回転数とか、エアフローとかで変えれるだろ。
うんうんそこで合わせろよっていう
火力
うんうん
いい。
じゃあもう1.5 回で決めちゃうってことなんだ
Yeah, so 1.5 roast. It's easy.
うーん
30 minutes you can do 1.5 roast. It's easy.
やばい
So most of them just do like maybe 1 roast. Or if they want to do 2 roasts, they need to rush.
ラッシ
Okay,
ュラッシュ
not enough time. A little bit very
あ
rush. Okay, so what to do? 1.5 roasts. It's enough.
I did at final of JCRC my final. I did 1.5 roast because of I mistake. That's why.
Yeah, but actually you can do it on purpose. Do we have
That's actually a filtered water.
yes.
うーん
The tap water is okay, right?
Yes, that's filtered.
でも
Okay, right?
別に2回焼いたって時間的にいけそうじゃない
時間でも結構ギリギリですよ。2回のは結構多分難しいと思う。ギリスの蓄熱の。
あそっかインターバル空いちゃうからまあほんま1回ってことですよね
けどその半回で全部取れるっていうのは
うん
確かにと
うん
思うし、
うんうん
To check quality, chewing beans is enough, you think? Or it's just you did
You need a lot of practice. You need to have some sensory skills.
you like cupping or not same with cupping?
It's still different from the coffee because you chew the beans.
Yeah.
That means you use your teeth to crush the beans like a grinder.
うん
Then you use your saliva to immerse with the grinds to extract something out. So actually, it's a very bad expression. So you can taste just some sweetness and acidity, and that's it.
No flavor.
Very little flavor. So that's like a very limited sensory information there. So you need to taste the beans. The best way to train yourself is like, okay, before cupping, you choose some beans. Then you do the official copy to compare to compare your experience. Actually, the experience will be very different, but you need to cross-link together. So, okay, I choose some beans, and if I feel in this, and that will be like that. Okay, so you have to some experience to establish the links between the mouse cupping and the official copy. Okay, or it will be difficult. You need to practice these things as well.
やりましょう。練習しましょう。
甘さとラッさが分かる。フレーバースはもうちょっとしか。
Alright.
でもそれで明確に8と7
いやそう
と
なんですよ。
そんなに分からんねや。
そこが
いやでもやってもらったらいいじゃないですか。4日目そう。
Then another thing
同じ豆で3つ作って。
you can see here it seems like there's a lines over there. So that means
入ってる入ってる。
actually it's not like this. It's actually 2 layers
ほ
and the right.
うほうほう。
So that means the interface is also the weak point, weak structure. So when you apply too much energy during the exothermic stage, that means the outside the coffee beans, the environment energy is a lot. But the coffee beans itself also have energy want to release. But outside a lot of energy, so the inner energy difficult to go out. So the energy will stay inside the beans. So those energy will burn the beans itself.
どういうことどういうこと
And the energy will stay over here. Okay? So,
内側からの熱で焦げるってことエナジーで
could you explain?
それがあそこに溜まるっていう
この豆が2枚に重なってますけど、そのエクソサーミックの時に
エクササミックの時
エクソサーミックが
放熱
放熱の段階の時に出したいんだけれども、あまりにも釜の温度が高すぎると出せない状況になってしまって、その熱がこもってしまった時に中を焦がしてしまう。その焦がしてしまう場所が
放熱の時っていうのは1ハゼ後ってことですか
温度が
焼き豆どなたが持ってます？
I just gave you.
Yeah, but your roast is too light. And maybe difficult to find out the good sample for me. Yeah.
dark? Really?
No. Maybe light. Light roast. Okay. And do we have a tray? That'll be fine. Yeah.
そんなの教えてもらって
ありました。
放熱の時
You are well prepared. And how many samples do you want me to
それ
count?
が溜まるそこに溜まるってことあそこにパカマラよくパスンってやったらこうなってるやつあるあれのこの前のおらんおったよ
放熱の時っていつなんですか いつのこと？
なんかいつでも起こるっていう感じです。
温熱はすでに起こそうとしてます。温度差ができる。
そうですよね。でも釜の方が熱いじゃないですか。エンバイラメントの方が。だから基本じゃないでもそれ。だから
入れなくてはそこに溜まって、
それが悪いって言ってるわけじゃない。そういうそれでそういう理由でできてるよってこと。
であそこが焦げやすい。
pure color.
あ、そう。
うん。
So by using these kind of things, it's easy for you to check what happened inside. Okay.
うんうんうん。
It's difficult for them.
お。来た。
Okay.
あ、写真にした。
It's not perfect, but good enough. Okay. You can see. Let me put it on the. Okay, you can see here it's a gap. Okay, don't worry about that because here it's the embryo. Okay, after roasting it will leave some space over there. That's not what I care about. Okay, here you can see. Here is some dark area inside. It looks darker than the other area. You can see here, right? Why? Because for these things, during the first crack, exothermic,
あ、ファーストクラック。
too much energy.
1ハゼ後エネルギー与えすぎたらってこと。
Exothermic reaction, but the environment energy too much. So the energy stayed inside and it burned the middle part.
ちょっと中村さんの豆見たい。切りましょう。ピルカッターある？ピルカ
So
ッター。
you can check here.
これ中村さんのやつ？あら。焦げてないじゃん。
Usually the first crack, second crack also, but second crack because
やりましょう。
the color is too dark, it's difficult to find. Yeah, sure. You can do it by yourself, okay? Because this is Ethiopia. So the Ethiopia beans, large
あ、本
one,
当だ。
small one,
こっちで書いてる。
very different size. I choose the small one
おー
Because for the small one, too much energy.
おー
So it happens a lot. It's easy to find out if you use the small one. I mean, this one is actually large. That's it. Okay. So you can buy it in the drugstore. It's easy. It's called pure color. See, this one is very obvious. Inside is all dark.
なってます？
Okay. So you can try yourself. Pick the small one.
ここってことですね。
Pick like a very
でも
small
ほぼ全部でなってる気がするな。
1ハゼ後にエネルギー供給しすぎたっていう。
でみたいですね。
エチオピア
めっちゃ良くなる。
Okay.
よく見る。
これちっちゃいから、ああなるほどね。これはすごいな。すごいあっちの方がブワーってなってる。
That means you need to read your beans. Beans will teach you everything.
名言すぎる。豆がすべて教えてくれる。エチオピア。
You show it, you will kind of like obvious bitterness. A little bit too much.
中村さんのやつ。
And that also is telling the inner development. Be very.
ああ、ピーベリーもなりやすそう。確かに。
本来今そこの大阪したいのに
中村さんの
1ハゼ後ね、やっぱり。
No, no, no. But I think drugstore or like online or like 100 store.
100均
Pure color. Yeah, if you have like grandpa, it's easy to find out.
おじいちゃんが飲みやすくするために。
これ半分に割ったりするやつね。
Okay, this is the easiest way to cut
中
the
村
beans.
さんの方
Okay, roasted beans, use this.
すごいな。すごいな。
You find it easy.
この辺にも売ってるのか
薬局に売ってる。あ、薬局に売ってる。
Can we cut green beans by this?
No, you will break it
Okay.
because the green bean very hard. It's very difficult to cut. Okay, you need to very carefully to maybe use a stand to hold it, and then you cut very carefully. Okay, so that's easy to find. Okay, another question is about the pea berry.
うん。
Pea berry. I need to find.
気になる本がいっぱい入ってるね。
Okay, so you know normally the two seeds in one cherry.
うん。
So they share the same space, so it will look like this, right? But if one embryo, okay, failed to develop, it died.
うん
So only one seed
うん
use the whole
うん
space.
うん
So it will turn round.
うん
That will be the pea berry.
うん
Okay? So usually the flower at the very, okay, the coffee tree like this, right? So you have flower, 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 flower.
うん
Okay? Nutrition from the stem send to the end. So usually the end flower usually don't have enough nutrition.
うん
So sometimes the pea berry will happen around this part.
ああ
Okay? More chance. More chance. And sometimes it's because the genetic background. So the pea berry will be genetic background or actually 2 eggs in the flower. So you have pollen, then fertilize. But 2 eggs, maybe only 1 sperm. So 2 eggs, only 1 fertilize, another didn't. So this one will go. So incomplete pollinization. Incomplete pollinization, or because those maybe is incomplete pollinization, or maybe it's because it's pollinized, but something happened during the development. Something happened. It's like abortion. Then only 1 seed grows up. So you have pea berry. But the pea berry usually will have more crispy acidity.
クリスピーアシリティ
Yes.
Nutrition-wise, it's less nutritious.
Yes, because it's usually
Far from
happen
the center.
at the end. So usually the sweetness is not that much.
うーん十分じゃない
Okay, so it's not that sweet, more acidity, so it tastes like a white wine, crispy acidity.
は
So
い
like Kenya, the normal beans, okay, it tastes like winey, like a red
あ
wine.
あうんうん
But the Kenya pea berry, white wine.
ああへえ
Structure-wise, the pea berry is stronger to the ordinary seeds.
The structure,
Yes, it's hard or weaker.
maybe it's hard. Usually it will not be that hard. Why? Because usually if the pea berry is like the outside of the tree, so more sunshine.
うん
Maturation is faster. Okay?
So reverse
So
faster.
the beans close to the stem and also lower position, they have more shading
うん
because the leaves, they hiding behind the leaves, so the maturation of the cherry will be slower. The quality is usually better.
へ
Okay, there is one research.
えへえ
それはヒューホワイトワインみたいな
へえそうなんだ木の下の方が美味しい
成長がゆっくりだからってことですね。
へえ食べ比べしたいですねしたい
栄養が少ないってピークで起こる可能性が高い。栄養が少ないってことは成長が遅い逆のパターンがあったり逆のパターンジェイクの話だと外側の方が太陽が当たるから成長早い、でも外側の方が栄養が行きにくいから P でいうとですね、外側に、栄養が少ないことによって育つ速度が遅いっていう可能性もあるってことですね。逆のパターン。
Okay, this research
おお
is
Evidence.
talk about the lower cherry tastes better.
へえ
Okay? And alright,
うん
so it's like this, okay? The collection above 170 centimeter is called upper cherry. Okay? Below 170 centimeter is called lower cherry.
ほうほうほ
Okay? And because the upper cherry, more sunlight,
ううん
so the maturation time is shorter. Lower cherry, less sunlight. You can see here it's a lot of shadow here. So that quality is different. Lower cherry, more sucrose. Higher cherry,
お
less.
ーへえちょっとうん
But that's for like this is from these coffee are planted with under a very enough sunshine
うん
area.
うんうん
Okay, so in like Bolivia,
ボリビアおう
we visit one farm. Actually, Tetsu was there several weeks ago. That farm, the altitude very high, 2,000 something meters.
うん
So the sunlight is not enough.
うん
So when the sunlight is not enough,
うん
you need to plant the tree very far away.
うん
So they have very enough sunshine. If they plant one by one, okay, very close,
うん
so not enough sunshine. Quality goes down.
おー
So too much sunshine, no good.
うん
Too little sunshine, also no good.
お
It
ー
depends.
なるほどね
Okay? So it depends. If it's more than enough sunshine, you need to do some shading.
うん
So lowland,
うん
okay? Tropical area, you need to have more shading.
うんうん
But when it's like very high altitude, a lot of cloud, not enough sunshine, you need to separate them.
うんうん
So more sunshine, better quality. So it depends. It's not always the same. Okay, you need to know where you plant the tree and what's the environment.
うん
Then you will know. Okay?
So the pea berries develop faster than the usual seeds when we roasting the coffee.
Good question. So, okay. So this is the farm. Don't take the photo. Okay, this is from. Okay, this is the farm. They plant a tree, 0.8 meter and 2.5 meters. Then they find out there's not enough sunshine. So they remove one row. Okay? The same place.
え
See the roof. is actually the same place.
間引いたってことですか。
Okay, so this one, it's like 3 years ago.
おー
Then they remove one line. So it's like this.
へえ
You cut down half of the tree. That means the production will be lower, maybe only half.
うんうん
But they don't care. They want the quality. They want the quality. So see, the original production will be like this, but the quality is no good. So now it's like this
うん
because of the sunshine.
うんうん
Okay,
なるほどね。
that's the form we are going to buy, and we do the process over there. All right, that's the pea berry, and the pea berry now it's round
うん
compared to like the half one.
うん
Okay, more surface area.
あえ球の方が表面積
I'll
でかい
explain this on day
球体と
3.
こ
Okay, I'll explain this on day 3. We should
表
move
面
on.
積の話ですか。
Sorry,
そう
to almost 80%. No. It's like already 80% already. Okay, here. 82, 83% is here. Okay, and then some increase to 6 minutes. But after 6 minutes, there is like almost no volume increase here. So the pattern is very similar to Colombia. But what? 20% more. 20% more. Right? Why? The altitude.
うん
Most of the Brazil will grow below 1,000. 600 meters, 700 meters. Right? So it's like lowland growing. Lowland growing, the cell wall structure is weak. They grow very fast. So the structure very weak. Easy to destroy the cell wall. So the volume increase is easy. Okay? Colombia usually maybe 1,600 meters to 2,000 meters. Very high. Very slow growing. Very strong cell wall structure. Difficult to increase the volume.
うん
Okay? So think about if you mix the Colombia and the Brazil, green bean together, and then mix first, then roast. So you have one roasting profile.
うん
This roasting profile for Brazil may be too much.
うん
So the Brazil volume increase a lot.
うん
For Colombia, maybe the energy is actually not enough.
うん
So the volume increase very little. So you have strong Colombia, you have weak Brazil after roast.
うん
So you have easy extraction Brazil,
うん
difficult extraction Colombia.
うん
So although Colombia, Brazil, 1-on-1, but when after you taste the coffee, it's all Brazil.
うん
Okay? So in your blend, if the Brazil more than 30%, 20% to 30%, it will be all Brazil.
うん
Brazil dominant flavor.
うん
Why? Because Brazil is easy to roast.
うん
easy to extract. So you have a lot of Brazil flavor. But for Kenya, see the Kenya, the volume increased even more. Why? Usually the Kenya growing altitude is quite high, right? But because the SL34, the SL28, the genetic background makes this coffee so easy to growing very fast. The size is very big. Because Kenya is the country, they want the Kenya AA. It's the size. The larger beans, the better price. So when they're doing the breeding, they actually select the varieties with the larger bean size. And also the management of the farm, they tend to use a lot of fertilizer to make the cherry grow even larger and faster. So, and also in the Kenya, they don't use the shading tree. So they have very enough sunshine. That makes all the cherries grow very fast, grow very large, weak structure.
そうなんだ。
So when you roast Kenya, the first crack temperature usually lower than the other.
確かに。
Right? That's why. Because the structure is weak.
エグザクトリーや。
Structure is not same with density.
Yes, but not the same.
構造ってこと。
Okay, think about it. Okay, I will explain. Okay, see? Here, a lot of cells. It's just like a hotel. A lot of room. Okay? The density comes from the wall, how thick of the wall. And also, is it all full or empty? Okay? You have many little rooms with very good, very thick cell wall, but empty inside. So the density will also a little bit lower.
確かに。
Because not enough nutrition inside. So you want very thick cell wall and also full of nutrition inside the cell. Then you have the highest density.
What it means different. Density in the structure.
Density means, yes, density means you have more stronger structure, yes, but the highest density always comes from high structure, strong structure, and the full of nutrition inside. Okay? You can grow very high altitude, shading. So the beans like a very thick cell wall, but you don't use fertilizer, so no nutrition. So no nutrition, empty inside. But you still have like a medium or medium high density there, but no flavor. So it's not only the altitude, also you need to take care of the trees. You need to have very good root system, and you have to apply the full fertilizer. It's everything all together. Okay, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. That's why I said you should go to the farm. You should visit the farm. Then you will know a lot of things. It's difficult to sitting here, show you the slide, then you can understand it's difficult. You have to be there You need to touch the ground. You need to smell the soil. Then you know things. Okay, the micro environment is very tricky. Very tricky.
今話してたんですけど、台湾ツアーもできる。
へえ
多分アリさんでやるの、そういうのも多分いけます。いや、特に。
たいな
アリさんでこういうのもできるって言ってました。
へえ
ファームツアーの。
うん
Okay, and another thing is like this. Okay, you roast 3 different beans: Santos, Colombia, Tanzania, to the same roasting degree. This is like the actual. It's not actual, but it's similar like actual. Okay, so that means the same roasting degree. 2 minutes, very fast roast to F107, or 10 minutes, slow roast. Okay, so fast roast, slow roast, all to the same roasting degree. Then we check the volume increase.
うーん
Fast roast, more volume increase.
うーん
Slow roast, less volume increase. Okay?
OK
So now, if I want to do a very light roast, but I want more volume increase,
うん
because I want a more cell wall breakdown.
うん
I want better extraction. So, should I roast slow or fast?
なんてなんてなんて
We want to do fast roast. Because fast roast, you have more volume increase. That means the cell wall structure break down more. That means easier to extract.
うん
Okay?
うん
Okay. So the traditional slow roast, maybe like 20 minutes roast.
うん
I know he's famous in Japan, but the slow roast is difficult to extract.
うん
You know what I'm talking about, right? You know who I'm talking about? You don't know. The man with the musician, the composer.
ミュージシャン
Yeah, I understood. I knew.
Now you understand,
A
right?
very traditional style.
Yeah, very traditional style.
へ
The traditional style, usually you need the darker
え
roast,
あ
or the extraction will be very bad. Very difficult to extract. So what you can do, you use a lot of beans for one shot, for one group. So you remember some of the brewers, I saw some brewers like, okay, you have like a corn or dripper, right? And the grinds like a mountain in the dripper. A lot of grinds, but very little extraction.
うん
Why? Because it's difficult to extract. Right? So 30 grams for 1 cup.
うーんそういうこと
Very
ね
expensive coffee.
But think about, hey, we should save the earth, right? So if you can do 15 grams to brew 1 cup, you should do that. Don't use 30 grams. Because actually you didn't extract all. You just waste them. Why you want to waste your coffee? There's no reason. So when you learn more, when you know more, when your skill grows, you should try to reduce the amount and to save the world. Right? So this is the first tool for the roasters. You want the higher, if you want to have a higher extraction rate, you want a higher volume, you want the more cell wall structure breakdown, you roast faster. Why? Because roasting, you see the beans like swollen, right? Why? Because during the roasting, there's some water inside the beans. The water inside the beans, they want to become the steam. So you have pressure inside the beans. But the cell structure, the coffee structure, the bean structure, it's like a you blow a balloon. Okay? So the more harder you blow, the balloon will be bigger. Okay? But the balloon is not perfect. Why? Because the balloon, actually, the beans will be like a balloon, but with holes. A lot of holes. So you blow little, it will not swollen because it leaks out. So you need to blow very hard. Then the balloon gets larger. So also the beans is like this. So when the coffee beans in the beginning, maybe 10%, maybe 12% water, that means when you heat up, a lot of steam. So that means you have a lot of pressure. But when during the roasting, the water content will go down and down and down. That means less and less water. That means less and less steam. That means the pressure will not be that high. So when the coffee beans have enough water, give the enough energy, create enough pressure inside, then you have the volume. Then you have the cell wall breakdown. Okay? When it's like a first crack, after first crack, the coffee bean is very dry. It's difficult, and also a lot of hole already. So it's really difficult to increase the volume. So if you want to increase the volume, increase them in the early stage. Okay? In the fast way and in the early stage. Very important. That's your tools to improve the extraction rate, to improve the cell wall breakdown. Then you have enough flavor. See here, also, HTST, that means high temperature, short time.
High temperature short time.
Yeah.
HTST.
HTST. So you have a lot of bean volume increase a lot.
Relative.
LTLT means low temperature, long time. See? It's like maybe 12 minutes.
Oh.
Okay, 12 minutes is a long time already. So the traditional 20 minutes roast is like a very, very long time. Okay, so low temperature, long time. The volume increase is not much. Okay, this is like a 3 minutes roast.
3 minutes roast.
If you want to do instant coffee, 3 minutes roast, 180 seconds roast, very fast. This is 4 minutes, sorry. But if you want to do like instant coffee, You want to extract everything you got because you want to lower the cost. So they really want a very high extraction. So they do like a power roasting. Okay, 3 minutes, 180 seconds roast. So the bean size is very big. Easy to extract everything. So it tastes very bad. Okay, but high volume, easy to extraction. Okay?
Okay.
Very important. It's okay. So you can see here, it's the density.
バルクって何？
But this is the bulk density. Okay, let me explain what is the bulk density.
ボルク
What are you looking for? The picture.
加算密度なるほどね。焙煎が進むと加算密度がどう変
Okay,
化す
you
る
don't need to buy a very expensive equipment to know the beans density. Okay, all you need to have is a cup. Masa-san, there is a cups, little cups over there. No, the stainless. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, all you need to have is a cup like this. Okay? It's better just straight. Okay? No tulip shape, no oval shape. Okay, just straight. And on the top, it's like this. Okay? Don't like this. Okay, like this. Stainless is the best because it won't break. Okay? Then you need to know it's about how much, what's the how much volume it can have. So what you can do is like like that. Okay, good. Why? Because I want to pour the water in to the full. But you know the water has the surface tension, so it's difficult to tell when it's full, when it's too much, when it's not enough. So you put a ruler like this, okay? You can come closer.
Okay.
So I'm adding the water, adding the water to... Is it full yet? No. So when the water touch the ruler, okay? So now it's not inside. Not yet? Okay. Now you can see the rulers touch the water. That means, okay? Is it? Oh, now. Okay, so that means it's full. 182.7. Okay, so now we know the volume is 182.7. Let's say 183. It's okay. Okay. So you can see that if you have some light over there, you can see it just touch. Right? So that's called full. Okay. Do we have green bean here? Green bean. Yeah, any kind of. It's okay. Cheap one. Don't bring out your geisha. Okay, I don't need it.
中村さん、前回よりすごいスピードで進んでるんじゃないですか。
いや、遅いっす。
あれ、前回より今回の方がそんなバカなこんなスムーズにいってるのに。
Then we put the green bean in, but we want to put it full. So usually, light tail person will tell you like this. Okay, so is it full?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe yeah.
Is it full? Right. So all you should do, because one company maybe we need 3 people, 4 people do this measurement. We want the reading are all the same. So we need a protocol to make sure everybody do it will be the similar result. But you think about it, if like this, the density is like, okay, 118.9. 118.9, the density will be 183 is the total volume, right? 183. So the density 118.9. 118.9 divided by 183. 0649. Okay, so it's like 0650. Okay? But see? Okay. So the full definition should be, I put one bean in, one bean should out. That's called full. Okay? If one bean in, oh, see, one bean in, one bean out. That means it's full.
Oh, だいぶ変わる。
0.69. So the density will not be the same. Okay? And because this density, we didn't remove the space between the beams. Because beams stack like this, and actually some space inside. So that's called bulk density. Because we didn't remove the space between the beams. Okay, think about it. The density 0.69, that means it's lighter than water. So if the density like this, if it is true, that means the beams will flow on the water. Because the water density will be 1, right? So it should be like lighter than water, but no, actually the green beans usually it's heavier than the water. So usually the true density of the beans should be more than one, not like this. So this kind of measurement it's not that precise. Okay, it's difficult because like if you use the Pacamara beans, it's larger. So when it stack together, more space inside. So the lower density. The small mocha, you will stack very little space between them. So you have higher density. So it's difficult to compare. So the bulk density is not a precise reading. It gave you some idea, but not the precise things. So what can you do is actually, it was 183, right? Okay, 10 grams. All right? grams.
あ、なるほどね。
Tell me when it's full. Yeah, touch, correct? Not yet? Yeah. Okay. 179.7. 183. Oh, it's 170. So that will be 183 divided by, subtract by 179.8. That means 3.2. And then we have 10 grams. Divided by 3.2. So the density should be like this. Too high, right? So that means we need to reset the system again. Yeah? Yes? Yeah. Actually 188. 188. So 179. 188 divided by 179.8, 2.2, and then 10 divided by 8.2, So this is the density, 1.22. That's the true density of the beams. Okay, so usually you need to sacrifice maybe 10 grams of the coffee, then you have the true density. And the true density will give you a good idea, like how strong they are, how much nutrition they have. And it will help you to decide your initial energy statement. How much energy for the first stage of your roasting. Okay, if the density is high, higher flame. If the density is low, lower charge temperature, lower flame. Okay, it's all depend on the density.
こっちで全部測った方がいいですよね、全種類ね。
これは高い方。
わかんない。
Okay.
Is this basic?
1.2, 1 to 2, it's good. It's actually good, yes. Usually the commercial may be only 1.1. Specialty usually like 1.2. Sometimes when the beans is very good, can reach to like maybe 1.2.
確かにこれまでのね密度測るやつだと分かんなかったですもんね、それね。
No. Lower than 1, that will be floater. That's
okay.
Right?
Still one.
Yes, still 1 cent.
At the same moment, we should think about structure, right?
Yes, it's about the structure and the nutrition condition. Okay?
これはバルブじゃないんだ。これは違う。
And
Yeah.
this is easy because 1 cup, 1 ruler, you fix everything.
これバルクデンシティでいいと思いますけど、傘密度ですよね。
Okay? You don't need to buy a light head. I mean, both densities still can give you some
それが
idea.
ローストしていくと
And
変わ
you
るか
don't
そう
wet
そうそう
your beans. But actually, wet 10 grams is nothing. When you have 100 kilos you want to roast, 10 grams is nothing. Okay, so you can use the 10 grams to help you to understand what exactly energy level you need for this roast. Why not? It's worth it.
これ大会中にしようと思ったらできるってことですね。ラボでできるんじゃないですか、これね。競技会中も。
Okay, and during the roasting, during the roasting, the density actually will goes down and goes down. Okay,
Okay.
but density means grams per volume, right? So the density goes down means maybe volume increase, but maybe the weight goes down. Okay? So it's not only one thing, it's actually two things. So maybe because the water lost, so the density goes down. Maybe because the volume increased, so the density goes down. Here, you don't know. You don't know yet. But all you can know is you can see from 4 minutes to 6 minutes here, it's
確かに。
like a dramatic goes down.
確かに。
So the dramatic goes down seems related to the sudden volume increase. Okay? Okay? Let's go back to here. Let's watch the video again. And you can see when the volume, we check the left one.
Left one.
Okay?
Okay.
This one, see the volume increase? And increase, you can see like very obvious. Okay, after crack, some increase, and then things stop. Very little increasement. Okay, so it's around before and after crack. It got major volume increase. Okay, and from here, you also notice here it's a major volume increase. Okay, here 7 minutes is the first cut. So it's actually happened before the first cut. All right. Then we need to know why. Okay, that's not important. It's okay. Okay, if we need to explain why, we need to go for this one.
何これ
Okay, this one. There is 5 lines on the graph. Okay?
Okay.
Let me explain to you one by one. Okay. The first one is the pink one. All right, the pink one is the coffee temperature corrected. Okay, that means the bean's surface temperature, not the bean probe temperature. Okay, bean probe temperature, it's not a true temperature of the bean surface. Okay, so temperature here. So the initial temperature is like 20 degree. 20 degree. Okay, look at here. This is temperature scale. So 20 degree, and during the roast, so the temperature, bean's temperature goes up, all the way to 220. Is that okay? Okay? And 180 is here. First step. Okay? So that's the bean temperature. Okay? Then the other one. It's the bulk density. Okay? The density from 720, that means 0.72. Okay, 0.72. Okay, and the density goes down and down and suddenly drop. Remember? Suddenly drop and then goes down and down. Like this. Okay, so we found out, oh, there is a suddenly drop of the density. But it may be made because the volume increased, but we don't know why. Okay, then another one is here. Moisture, water content. So these things, the water content, you have to see here. Water content times 10. That means if it's 120, that means the water content is 12%. 12% times 10, 120. So here is 12 because they want to share the scale here. They share the temperature and the water content scale here. So that's why. Okay? So no matter what, it's from 12%. And during the roasting, the water will loss. Like around first crack, the water content will be about 2% only. Okay? At the first crack, the water content only 2%. Very dry. After you finish your roast, maybe 1 point something percent. Also very low. Okay? Okay, so these three are all okay, right? Now I want to explain this one. This one is called, the green one, is called glass transition temperature. What's that mean? That means the green bean, when it's cold, it's very hot. It's difficult to cut, difficult to chew. So it's like glass, very hot, rigid. But when you heat the glass, when the temperature high enough, the glass start melt down. So it will become from very hard, it will become like a rubbery, like rubber. It becomes soft, easy to change shape. That's called glass transition. From very hard to change to soft. So think about your green bean. When it's low temperature, it's very hot. So it's difficult to swallow. So you need to heat your beans to a certain temperature, higher than a certain temperature. Then the beans become softer. Then the beans can swallow. Then the volume can increase. Okay? So this is the temperature. So when the beans are 12% water content, you need almost 100 degrees. When the beans, if the beans temperature higher than 100 degrees, it will become soft. When the water content is 12%.
あ、そういうこと？
Okay? Like here, when the beans only 1%. Okay, the water content here is only 1%, right? So if you want the beans, only 1% water content beans, if you want it to soft, to swollen, you need 160 degrees.
Okay. 水分値が
Yeah, the transition temperature will be 160. If you have a lot of water, it can be like 98. When it's very wet, 98. Very dry, 160. Okay? More water, easier to soft.
なるほど。
Okay? No water, difficult to become soft. So you need higher temperature. Okay? Maybe you need some explanation there?
I'm not sure if I really understand.
水分値が低いとガラス化するまでの温度が必要な温度が高いってことですよね。
そうですね、そうです。
水分値高いやつの方が柔らかくなりやすいよってことですよね。
だから低い温度でも大丈夫。
ラバーになったのが早いそうです。 鉄が溶けるのがめっちゃ深みってことでしょ、水分がない。
あ、そういうこと？
違う。
そういうことか。
それ硬いものって水分がないからガラスがするまでに。
あ、そういうことなんですね。
言うてんだから違う。
あ、違う。
違う？
Okay, so you can check here. Is from here, lower water content, you got a higher temperature. Higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower.
うん。
Okay, that means it seems like a mirror image. It's like a mirror image.
うんうんうんうんうん。
Okay, because this line, this green line, is calculated by the water content. It's calculated.
計算できるってこ
計算して出した温度です。
と？あ、なるほどね。カリキュレート。
Okay? So, if the bean's temperature
うん。
is lower than the glass transition temperature, the bean's still very high,
うん。
cannot increase volume easily. You got it? Understand?
最初は豆の温度が低いから、
豆温度が低いと広がらない。硬いまま。
うん。
Okay? So when the temperature are lower than the green line,
うん。
okay, no, not much volume increase.
うん。
But here, once the temperature higher than
なる
the
ほど。
volume, the glass transition temperature,
うん。
the
なるほど。
density goes down.
なるほど。
So this glass temperature is not an actual temperature, it's a general temperature for
No, it's a calculation.
right.
Okay. So this glass transition temperature. It's very important in the food chemistry because a lot of food have the characteristics like this. Okay. So you can see now. Once the bean's temperature higher than the glass transition temperature, then you have a very good volume increase.
うん。
So that's why the density goes down suddenly.
うん。うん。うん。
But after 6 minutes,
うん。
although the temperature keep on going high,
うん。
but the volume increase not that dramatic
うん。
because not that much water, so not that much pressure,
うん。
so difficult to swallow.
うん。
So that's tell me if you want to do a very light roast,
うん。
if you want to do a light roast, I said the first crack is okay. The first crack is here, right?
うん。
So after first crack, maybe you develop very short time.
うん。うん。
So there will be no further
うん。
volume increase about here, right? So you only have the early volume increase.
うん。
So if you want to do that, what to do? That means you need to bring your bean's temperature above 100 as soon as possible. Then you have a better volume increase. Okay? So that means your turning point, the turning point cannot be too low. When you have low turning point, bad volume increase. When you have high turning point, good volume increase. So Brazil, you don't want that much, you go low. Colombia, you want a good volume increase to increase the extraction rate. Because Colombia, difficult to increase, right? High turning point.
なるほどね。なるほど。それでコントロールできるってこと。
Got that?
OK。
So marriage actually should go a little bit low.
ああ、なるほどね。
You don't need to go like a very high turning point because it's soft. It's not a really hard thing.
If we do a higher bottom, how it's happen? What does happen?
How higher?
Higher bottom.
Okay, if we do like a marriage, we have like a high turning point. That means the volume increase a lot, right? The cell structure break down a lot. That means we can roast it very light.
We can roast.
We can roast very light. So it's like seesaw. So the turning point is low. After first crack, you need to go higher. If the turning point is high, after first crack, you can go lower. That means you can roast lighter. It's like this.
So this is talking about the wash beats, right?
え
Everything.
ポトムが低い。そうすると1ハゼ後高いエネルギーが必要ってことですか。
ゴールまで。
ちょっと時間が必要になる。で、そのボトムが高いってなると、そのデベロップが短くていい。
短くていい。
それ多分エネルギーの話に多分すると思うんですけど、オーバーになったら焦げるじゃないですか。だからその柔らかい豆でその高い中点にしてしまうと、エネルギーが高いからすぐ焦げちゃう、ロースティーになる。で、硬い豆だったらそれなりにエネルギーが必要だから高くていいけど、硬い豆がその中点が低い場合、ターニングポイントがかかったらエネルギーが少ないから、少し上についた。
未発達で終わる。
からその硬さと水分値とかで、そのさっきのどんだけ火を入れるべきかみたいなことをさっきから説明しますの話。でそれがこれだよみたいな。で水分値でそのどんだけボリュームが上がるかみたいなことを話しているのは、まあそれを見てそのどれだけ必要かっていう判断ができるよねっていう話をしている。
Again, okay, first crack is here. Okay, so if I want to do a very light roast, so I will do the curve like this. So everything higher in the beginning. That means I apply more energy in the early stage. Okay, so I still can develop some flavor. I still can break down the cell wall. So I have good extraction, I have flavor development. If I want to do a dark roast, if I want to do a dark roast, okay, I will do the curve like this. Not like that. Okay. If I want to do a dark roast, okay, because I know after first crack, there will still a long way to go. The beans after first crack will receive a lot of energy. So I don't need to increase energy for the first part. Anyway, I will break down the cell wall a lot because after first crack, actually the temperature will go very high and it's much longer than the light roast. Right? So for the dark roast, turning point can be low. It's okay. But for the very light roast, you want to keep the geisha floral, right? So you want to roast very light, right? But usually, when you roast geisha, the development is not enough. You have floral, yes, but also you have grassy. Also you have grainy. It's also difficult to extract because a lot of wrinkles on there. That means the volume increase is not enough. So what to do? You need to lift up your curve in the early stage. You have to have a higher turning point. Now you got me? Okay?
つまりどういうことだ。めちゃくちゃ浅く止めたかったら上げとけよってこと。
電車とかはそのクローラルなところをやっぱり出したいから、その早く上げる必要がある。なのでその分その初めの方に高いところで。
結局エネルギーの相場をそれよってことじゃないのかなみたいな感じですよね。で深入りは1ハゼ後にさらにエネルギーかかりすぎるから前半低くしとかないとダメだよってことですよね。違う？
ハゼの話はしてないです。
いやハゼ後めちゃくちゃ長くなるからって言ってませんでした。
浅入りで例えばもっとエクストラクションを稼ごうと思ったら、開かせないといけないんですけど、開かせるのは大体最初のステージなので、浅入りとお尻がもうすぐ決まってるので、なるべく早く開かしたいと。なるべく早く開かすためにはガラス定員温度よりも豆の温度を早めに上げとかなきゃいけないから、ボトムを上げろっていうことですね。
早く到達するためにですよね。
深入りの場合は後半の時間が長いし、そもそも時間かかるから、最初に高い温度を当てて無理やり開かす必要はない。
必要はないだけで してもいいのかな。それとも開かせることによって後半焦げやすくなったりってことが起こるんですかね。そういうことで
温度だけの話でしょ。ダンパーとかそういうの
は関係ないですね。OK。
結局後半でも、開く時間っていうのは深いのはまだ残ってる。
そういうことですよね。だからトータルでってことですね。OK。
Okay. This is very important. Okay. If you want to have a better volume increase, if you want to have a better cell wall damage, higher turning point. Bring up the initial stage temperature. Okay, and then you have better. If you want to do medium roast, if you want to do medium dark roast, if you want to roast like very soft beans, goes down. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, you need to think about it. You need to think about it after tonight. Then if you have questions, ask me again. Okay. So here, it's called 25 magazine. Sorry. This is from 25 magazine. I will suggest you, every all of you, to subscribe this magazine. It's an online magazine published by SCA.
へえ
Okay? Every issue, they will have 1 or 2 articles, very, very important. Okay, for this one, it's called how the roasting to manipulate the perceptions. Okay? So from this one, they do several roasting. They do light roast all the way to the dark roast. And for the medium roast, they do fast roast to bake. That means very slow roast. Okay? And then they do cupping. This is the result. Okay, we can see like the acidity or like the fruity notes. Lighter roast got a more acidity and the fruity. Darker roast, because this is extron.
46
So darker roast, you got like a lower fruitiness and the acidity. Reasonable. Okay? Then we see the bitterness and the roasty notes. Light roast, not that bitter, not that roasty. Dark roast, is go higher like this. So dark roast, high roasty, high bitterness. Also reasonable. Okay? The body. So the body, light roast. Very light roast, light roast. But medium roast got the highest body here. And then darker and darker, it's not that high like the medium roast. Okay. So if you want to have the best body, medium roast. But medium roast a little bit roast too much for the specialty coffee roasters. Because the medium roast, some caramelization already. So the flavor from the origin, the flavor from the varieties goes down. So yes, I know you want to do light roast. You want to do light roast, but the light roast, the body is no good. So why you need to rise the turning point? Because you can increase the volume, you can break down more cell wall, then you have better body. Okay? And if you want the best body, actually, you want the baked one, a slow roast one. But that's also we don't want. Okay? We want the medium or fast roast, but the body is actually low. So what to do? Again, you need to increase the initial temperature, initial energy. Because it's based on the same roasting profile. So actually the initial energy is not enough. So the fast roast, the body is not good enough. So what to do? Increase in the beginning. Okay? So here is the measurement of the viscosity. While here we want to talk about the viscosity because the body is composed by 3 things. The first, the soluble matter. That means TDS. You have high TDS, you have heavier feed. you have higher TDS, you have higher density of the coffee solution, coffee liquid. Okay, so you have more dense, more heavy feeling. The second, it's about the viscosity. That means sticky,
sticky. ネ
You know.
バネバ
Yeah, so
粘性
that means the liquid difficult to flow around.
うん
Okay, sticky, right? So the more sticky,
うん
you have better body.
うん
That's related to the fiber in your coffee liquid.
ファイバ
Fiber. Where is the fiber from?
セロ
From the
Cellulose.
cellulose. Break down cellulose.
ーセルロースがブレイクダウンして
食物繊維
食物繊維
So usually your light roast coffee, you can brew it very high TDS.
うん
So it tastes with density.
うーん
Yes, but it's watery.
うん
It's not sticky. So the light roast coffee, usually the body is not sticky.
うん
It's low viscosity.
うん
Okay? So here, the light roast and the dark roast have like very low viscosity.
ビスカシティって何
Sticky feeling.
Sticky feeling.
Viscosity means the sticky
粘性
feeling.
おー
Okay? So you need to do fast and the medium roast.
うん
There you have better
うん
viscosity.
うん
Okay?
OK
The third thing about the body is lipid,
リピット
fats. Because the fats give you the texture,
うん
smooth,
スムーズ
round, okay, oily.
Oily.
Okay, this texture related to the lipid.
うん
Okay, so if you remove all the lipid, the body is bad.
うん
So if
ピ
you
ットって言っ
use
たら
the
なんて言ったらいい
filter paper to brew
まあでも
your
オイル
coffee, the body, the lipid will be absorbed on the filter paper.
うん
Then it's not that smooth.
うんうん
That's why if you use the cloth to brew your coffee, you have more smooth texture,
うん
oily feeling.
脂質
Because the cloth is much easier to let the oil pass through. Okay? And also because the lipid is difficult to dissolve in the water.
うん
So also you need to break down the cell wall
うん
so the oil can be much easier to spray in the water.
うん
Okay, to bring out from the cell.
とにかく
So
とにかくブレイクダウン
everything related
セルロー
to
スブレイクダ
the
ウン
volume increase.
うん
The volume increase more, you have better viscosity, you have better texture,
うん
okay? You have better TDS.
うん
You have much better body.
ボディ
In the past time, not much roasters know how to manipulate with the body. Okay. If your customers complain,
うん
say, the coffee you roast, the body is weak, it's watery. What you can do? What's your adjustment strategies? You don't know.
なんて
Do you know how to do?
Probably they can add in the more ground beans and also the extraction by the vegetables.
Yeah, so you change the green bean to increase the body. Say, body is weak, okay, no problem. More natural process. Natural process means a better body.
あ、なるほど。
Right? Less wash coffee, more natural coffee, then you have more body. But no, I say I want exactly the same green bean, but better body. What you can do?
I think he said about extraction.
Extraction. Yeah.
To use more coffee beans.
Yeah. To use more coffee beans. Right? You increase my cost. No way.
Faster roasted.
うん、ファストロースト。
Yeah, so you need to do roast faster,
セルダウン。
higher temperature.
うん。
But I want my geisha floral.
おお、むずっ。
So you cannot go high temperature.
うん。
So what to do? Roast faster. But you roast very fast, so acidity very high.
うん。
I don't want my coffee high acidity.
あ
I just want high body. What you can do?
ちょっと長くする時間。
Right?
First like a roasting time until 5 minutes,
うん。
then going down.
Yes.
うん。
Yes.
最初は早くしてあとゆっくり。
So fast roast in the beginning, then slow down.
うん。
Right? So that means initial high temperature.
うん。
Then slow down.
もはや芸者じゃなくていいのでは。え？
Then you have the similar roasting time. Similar roasting time means similar acidity, but you have better body. Okay?
うん。
Okay, here it's another research. It's from coffee imports.
うん。
Royal Coffee, sorry, it's from Royal Coffee. And it's daily coffee news, okay? So what they found is the shorter roasting time. The shorter roasting time. The higher extraction rate.
うん。
The longer roasting time. The lower extraction rate. Okay?
うん。
And, sorry. And the post-crack development, okay, after first crack development time,
うん。
okay?
Mm.
The more the higher development time.
うん。
Okay, the higher development time, you have uh,
意外とバラバラや。 全体的に若干処理率上がる。
Higher
Ratioが低い
development
と。
time, you have lower extraction. Lower development time,
うん
you have higher
うんうん
extraction. Okay, because the development too much, the weight loss too much. You don't have much soluble things to extract. Okay? So, after first crack, elongate the time after the first crack. It's not a good idea because your TDS actually will go down because you burn out more things. Okay, so usually you need to keep your development ratio the same. But at the same time, you want to have a better body, then you need to higher your initial part. Okay, so in the past time, a lot of roasters think about, oh, if you want something more, if you want the expression more or something, just increase the development time, but which is no good. Okay. Stay there, but handle things before the first crack. Okay, so that's the things. A lot of roasters focus on when is the first crack and how to do after the first crack. Actually, that is not the most important thing. Because before first crack, a lot of things you need to do. If you do it well, after first crack, it's always easy. Okay. After first crack, it depends on, it will decide the flavor type. Okay. But the flavor type is not everything. Think about your score sheets. Flavor, aftertaste,
確かに
then acidity, body, sweetness, balance, and the balance, the sweetness times 2. For the brewer's cup, acidity times 2, body times 2. Never be the flavor. Okay, so flavor, it's not important. It's easy to handle. Okay, decide which degree you want to stop. Then you have the flavor. It's easy. But it's difficult to handle about the acidity, the body, the sweetness, and the balance. That's why we times 2. And that's why you need to learn how to do with these 4 categories. Flavor, after everything done, then you cup and you write down the flavor. It's easy. It's nothing. Okay. Now a lot of cupper, when they do the cupping, the first things they want to do is, okay, now I want to write down the flavor. It's jasmine, apple juice, tangerine, peach. They want to write down a lot of flavor notes. Actually, it's not important. The most important things is about the sweetness, acidity, and the body balance. If you have very good acidity, sweetness, and the body, then you can think about, okay, so I have these 3, very good. Then you can think about, okay, so what's the flavor? It's easy. Find out flavor is easy. Flavor is more related to the green bean origin, more related to the process, more related to the varieties. It's not very related to the roasters. It's not very related to the brewers. So we don't want the Brewers' Cup to become a geisha competition. It seems like every competitor on the stage, they seems like they are farmers. They want to sell the green bean. They talk a lot of green bean. Deborah, the altitude is so high and the variety is so good and how they take care of their farm. A lot of things. Hey, this is brewers competition. Talk about how you brew.
確かに
You don't need to tell me how to grow up the green bean. You are not farmer, you are the brewer. You don't want you are not trying to sell the green bean to me. You are trying to brew me a coffee. It tastes so good, so I want you to brew me a second cup. Right? So you are the roaster. You are not the green bean seller. So don't try to sell me the green bean. Sell me the roasted beans. So sell me the beans with beautiful sweetness, acidity, body. Not about flavor. It's not like that. Okay, so that's why you need to check your score sheets and think about why. And then think about who you are. Okay, think about who you are. When you are a green bean seller, then you talk about flavor. But you're not. So find out the point you should showcase. Okay? That's the point. So roasting time also. See, the longer roasting time, the lower extraction. Shorter roasting time, the higher extraction. Okay. Everything like this. So that's why we talk about the extraction rates. Alright? And the roasting color. Okay. When you do like very light roasting, the roasting extraction, the extraction will be low. When you do like a higher roasting, the extraction rate is better. Yeah, I know. We all know. But our problem is how to bring up the extraction of the light roast. Okay. So that's why I explained to you this chart. Okay. This is very important. You need to check it all over again. You need to, after dinner, before you sleep, you need to think it over and over. Okay? Then think about this one. Cell roasting profile. Cell roasting setting, but different size of the beans. So the small beans, higher turning point. The large beans, 8 millimeter is like a Patamara. Okay. Low. 8 millimeter, sorry, it's like Blue Mountain. Okay, 19th Street. So the larger beans, lower turning point. Smaller beans, higher turning point. And also, smaller beans goes faster. Large beans goes slow. Okay? So that means when you roast the mocha, when you roast the small size Ethiopia, like Tamiru, okay, Tamiru bean size very small, okay, so the turning point should go high or low? Low. When you do handle the Salvador Camara, the turning point should go higher or lower? Higher. Or the inner development will be not enough. The small beans go lower, or the inside the beans development too much. Okay? So that's why the roasting competition asks you to check the bean screen size.
はいはい。
Okay? You're saying, because the competition want to test, so I do. No, it's because on your daily work, it means something. You know the bean's size, you know how to set up the initial energy setting. It's very important. So that's why you need to check the bean size, and based on the bean size, you choose the high temperature, high charge temperature or low charge temperature. You choose the higher flame or lower flame. It's all because the size. It's only because the size, because the bean's densities, it based on the water content. So you can choose the high energy or low energy. Okay? Someone in Japan, he divided the green bean into A, B, C, D, 4 types green bean. You know who he is, right?
18.
I can't tell.
Okay, it's okay. But he did not explain why and how he can divide into A, B, C, D. It's okay. But you need to think about
日誌なんやそこ。
So, if you have like density and water content, okay? So you have high water content, high density beans. For example, high altitude Sumatra. Maybe you have 13% water, right? But because it's like from Sumatra, maybe from Pakengo, Tawa Lake. Okay, Tawa Lake, around Tawa Lake, the growing area should be around 1,400 or even higher. Okay, it's not like Toba Lake. Toba Lake is only 800 meters, but Tawa Lake is much higher. But by using the wet howling method, so the water content may be 13%. So you have high water content, high density beans. Okay? Maybe you have like low water content, high density beans. Colombia. High altitude Ethiopia. 2,000 meters above. Density very high. But maybe because the natural process, so the water content may be below 10. Right? Maybe you have low water content, low density beans. What's that? Commercial beans.
コマーシャル。そもそもスペシャリティじゃない。
Okay, so what to do? Don't buy it. Come on.
そもそも。
Don't think about the roaster. Okay, it's just send it in and then let them out, and that's it. Nothing you can do. Okay, because the quality is very bad. Okay, make it quick. Okay, quick roast because low density, not much nutrition, low water content. Okay, so easy to bring the temperature high. Okay, so make it quick. Maybe 6 minute, 8 minute roast. Done. Medium to medium dark. That's it. Okay, make it quick. But it tastes still bad. No matter what, the commercial beans, nobody cares. Okay, but usually don't buy it. Okay? And you also have low density but high water content. Low land Sumatra.
Oh.
Okay? So based on these four types, actually the energy requirements are different. You have high water, high density, you need a lot of initial energies to remove the water, to fight with the strong structure. And after first crack, you still need more energy because the high density. You still need some more energies after the first crack. Not the first crack. After turning point, after turn yellow, in the Miller reaction time, you still need more energy. Okay? But if you have like a low density, but if you have like a low water content but high density beans, that means actually the beans are dry. So for the dry beans, you don't need that much energy to remove the water. So usually the lower water content, you got a higher turning point. More water, you got a lower turning point.
低い方がいい。高い方がいい。
So when the beans are very fresh,
ドライとボトムが上がるのってそういう話をした。
ほうほうほう。
because more water, you will absorb more energy. So actually the turning point will go lower.
水分が高いと、水分の水分ね、エネルギーを吸収するからボトムが上がるんです。
ほう。
ドライと吸収する。
同じセッティングでも高くなると。はいはいはい。
Okay.
Okay.
So more water, you need more energy, higher charge temperature. Okay. If the water content is low, so lower the temperature, lower the energy. Okay. But because the density is still high, so during the Miller reaction, you still need to put in some energy to maintain the RR. Okay. So different density, different water content, you need to design different initial energy requirement. Also, you need to design different Miller reaction energy supply.
そこで分けるんだ。
So the high density also gives a lower turning point also?
Yes. Yes. So that's why every beans, I need to know the bean size. I need to know the density. I need to know the water content. Based on this, at least these three. And also I need to know actually the process. So based on these informations, then I can design what's the initial energy I will apply. I will design what after turn yellow, what's of the Miller reaction energy. And after first bath, I can design what I can do, how I can control the roaster. Okay, so in my company, we measure the water content and the density every 2 months. Because some green bean we buy a lot, and we plan to sell maybe more than 6 months. So every 2 months we need to check. Some green bean we buy small amount, and maybe 1 month we finish. Okay, so for those long-term supply beans, we need to check the water content and the density because it will change through time. Okay, and that will be very important. Before you roast, I will check we posted the list on the wall. So I will go check the list and see, okay, and check the condition and check the readings. Then I decide, okay, so now it's getting drier, so maybe I should go lower because I have a reference profile. So I say compared to the reference profile, so I should go lower, maybe 5 degrees the charge temperature, and maybe 6 degrees of the charge temperature, or maybe I should like lower the energy, maybe 5% lower the energy. So it all depends on those readings. Then I design. Okay. So now it's 12:30, right? We should make a stop for, I don't know, for 1 hour.